Okay, as we keep chugging along on the code here, the next thing I want to do is handle the add use case. And if you think about the user interface, it's going to be that we're going to type in the letter A followed by whatever task we want. So it'll be A followed by wake up, A followed by brush teeth, and so on and so forth. And therefore, as we come back over to the input processor, we want to start working down in this add case right here. But if you look here at the string the user is going to be typing in, if you look at each of these, what you're going to see is a space followed by something. So that tells me that once we pattern match over here on an a space beginning like that, and notice that I use starts with, so the string starts with a space. What I want to do is get rid of that a space because we already confirmed right here that the string has a space. And the way you do this in Scala is just with this drop command. And you just say, I want to drop the first two characters. And I demonstrate that in these examples here. So a string like this one, a space wake up, if you call drop to on that, it drops the a and the space, and that leaves only wake up. And then I show that these other examples do the exact same thing. So drop is a built-in function that works on sequence types. So now if I come back over to code here, let me get rid of that. Now what I know is I had this handle view function for the view case, so I know that I want to create another function here, and I want to call this one handle add. And then the question is, what do we pass in here? And what we're going to pass in is the string add, but I'm going to drop those first two characters, so I call it add and then drop 2. And that way I know that when handle add is called, it's going to have this clean string down here without that leading a character. So now I can come down here and say, well, I want to create private. I want to name it handle add. And as you just saw, it's going to have a string as its input. And to be consistent with what I have in the book, I'll call that string input parameter task. It'll be a string. And then we know that this is going to return a try. And the question is, well, what type of try is that going to be? And if you think about the way add works, we come back here, we're going to type a command like a space wake up. And what I want after that is the wake up is going to go into the database. And I think what I'm going to want to do after that is see this sort of output, or I want to see the output from the view command. So therefore, when I do the insert into the database, that operation is going to return a unit. And then when I print the information to standard out, that's also going to return a unit. So that's a real strong indicator that this type there is going to be a unit. And now all we need to do is implement the method body over here. And now I'm going to put that in comments over here. So what I want to do is, first thing I want to do is insert into the database. And then the second thing I think I want to do is print the current list of tasks, or just list of tasks. So that's the two steps that are going to happen in here. And this first one, if you recall, we actually have a handle to the database right here, that DB right there. And if I go back to that database class, right there, we have this insert function right here. So insert takes a string as input and it returns a try of unit. So that's all we have to do right here. Here say I want to do a db.insert and I want to give it that task right there. And then coming down here, the next thing I want to do is print the list of tasks. And we actually already have that implemented right here with handle view. So I can just copy that and do that like that. So this is actually the entire function right here. So I've implemented those two steps. I have handle add up here. I am stripping off the first two characters, which is exactly what I want. And then whatever comes after add is going to be inserted into the database. And now we can come over here and test that. And what I did over here is I saved this file. What I'm going to do is delete all these lines. So now we have a file, but it's empty. And then I'll save that. And now we can go back to our command here and run the application. And we can deal with that warning in a few moments, but for now, I just want to make sure that add works. So to show that I'm doing something different, I can say drive to work, and then maybe I want to park the car, then go into the office. So you can see those are all working. I'm adding the tasks like that one right there, and then I'm seeing the view right after that. And that's happening because I'm adding the task right there, and then I'm showing the view right there. So everything is working as desired. And again, we're staying in the loop here until we type that quit command. Okay. Okay, it just took me a few moments to figure this out, but this is how you use the deprecation option with the Scala CLI command. So I'm going to compile that code in the current directory, and then you'll see that the stream is deprecated since Scala 2.13. And you would think that since I wrote the Scala cookbook, I would remember that, but I did not remember that. And stream has just been a one-for-one replacement with lazy list. So what I want to do is come back here and just replace that one right there and save that, and then come back to the code, and then if I recompile that, hopefully that error will go away. And there we go. So that was a little bit of a bonus. If you ever run into this deprecation problem, this is a compile command that you can use to show deprecation errors like this one.